Good morning and welcome to another edition. Now then, thank you for tuning into Cragcore. I thoroughly appreciate the views. Before we start, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and here we go. So as you can see, this isn't an edition of Riding with Biden, nor is it on a llama with Obama. I've rehearsed this, so bear with me. This most certainly is not going somewhere with Tony Blair. They get better. No, they don't. This is simply Cragcore in his car. So here we go. The subject of today's knowledge drop, he says arrogantly, is fuck the awake. Okay, I'm gonna try and keep this short and sweet. I recorded this earlier today already, and it was far too long. It's very simple. At first glance, fuck the awake as a title. Look at this arsehole up my fucking backside. Fucking hell, yeah. You're alright. Oh, and now, hold on. They're not using their right of way and they're causing a problem by letting somebody else out onto the road when they don't need to, causing traffic to back up needlessly. Idiots. They've turned off now anyway, so they're not my problem. Anyway, fuck the awake. Here we go, fuck the awake, man. It seems like a negative title, doesn't it? When really it's actually quite positive. Oh, we're going to get there eventually, but look at this old Rover. Wow. I haven't seen one of them in a long, long time. Oof. I don't know what the name is of that particular Rover, but it was an old one. One of them with the really, really long bonnet, coupe type thing. And it was burgundy. Perfect colour for the car. Anyway, bottle green would have looked good as well. So, anyway, enough of that. Let's get down to business. People seem to take it upon themselves nowadays, don't they, to educate other people, to wake other people up. Now, you know what? That's just ego. That's an egotistical way of approaching the global situation. And when I say the global situation, I don't mean COVID. Of course I don't mean COVID. What I mean is society becoming knackered by us, basically, and our attitude towards one another. You know, social media, what is that at the minute? It's just turned into a cesspit for egos. You know, everybody seems to take it upon themselves to want to educate everybody else. Now, don't get me wrong. I completely and fully acknowledge that there is a great divide in society, okay? And where that comes from, what that divide is basically two halves. You get those people that are willing to just go along unquestionably with what it is the government wants to, you know, give to society, how they tell people they ought to be living, all of these situations. They literally just follow, all right? And then you get people that question these things. You get people that are questioning the government and that are questioning the choices made. Because guess what? These choices, these decisions that are imposed on our lives affect us. So it's our right to question them. Not only is it our right, though, it's our responsibility, and it's healthy. I personally feel as though it's dangerous to blindly follow anything. And we ought to question. It's something that is required of society in order to progress. Unless we question, we'll never evolve. All right? Human evolution comes from questioning a situation and seeing how we've been going wrong and where we can then get better and do something better. All right? Simply, you know, in the simple words of a layman, i.e. me, you know, that's basically the gist of it. So why is it at the minute people are trying to shut up the people that and call them irresponsible for questioning things, okay? But anyway, that's another story altogether. That's a rant, that one. Let's not go off the park today, you know. We don't need to go out the reservation. We need to keep this tight and on point. So that's the divide, okay? That's there. The divide is basically acknowledgeable at this point, right? You get those that follow and those that question. But you see, that division creates an easier target to overcome and suppress. So things like Facebook, social media sites like that, Twitter, they promote this division, okay, by being a platform for it. Now, I am getting to a point, as usual, there is a big preamble before the point is made. If you've been watching my videos for some time, you will see that there is a pattern, which is this. Now then, where we get to though with this is with social media and with this divide and this obvious fracture in our society and how we kind of relate to one another. This egotistical drive to prove ourselves to one another, or to prove our points more valid than somebody else's, and to try and educate somebody else. That ultimately brings about this point I'm trying to make, where I say, fuck the unawake, because ultimately, whether somebody is awake or not, God, there's a lot of this going on today, isn't there? Whether somebody's awake or not is only down to fucking opinion anyway. And when it comes down to opinion, that then brings into play other scenarios, which basically is tantamount to fascism. Okay, so fascists try and impose their opinion on other people, you know, without regard for the person's feelings and thoughts and opinions that they're imposing them upon. Okay? That's part of it. So ultimately, we're left with a group of people saying that they're awake and that they're hip, you know what I mean, and on the point, you know what I mean, on the pulse, and all about freedom of speech and all of this shit. But at the same time, in the most hypocritical way possible, they are trying to then impose that will upon somebody else, thus becoming fascists, which is literally the furthest away, or a very far away point you can be from actually being open-minded and about freedom and free speech. We all know this based on what happened with the Second World War and the fascists that were involved in that. So when I say fuck the awake, I literally don't mean fuck them in an egotistical way. All right? I don't mean it like that. Like I said, at first it comes across as being like that, but it isn't. It's more about saying, leave them be. You know, if people are happy living their lives a certain way, not questioning things, then what right is it of anybody's, mine included? Trust me, I know that this kind of shit goes on the social media, because I've been one of these people, and I realised I was being an egotistical fucking prick. So I had to stop myself. But if these people are happy living like this, leave them to it. What right is it of yours or mine to impede somebody's happiness, okay? To take away someone's happiness based on what our opinion of the world is. You know, you see where I'm coming from? So when I say fuck the awake, fuck them. In other words, leave them to it. Let them live their lives happily, how they feel, because ultimately that's what we're doing, and we don't need to be hypocrites, all right, and allow our ego, no indicator, you fucking idiot, allow our ego to take over, all right, and to basically tarnish the message of free speech and freedom, which is ultimately where we're coming from, right? So, live and let live. It's a phrase that gets tossed around like pancakes. But ultimately, you know, it should be put into play a little bit more often, in my opinion. Live and let live. Allow people to live the lives they want to live, basically, and don't judge them for it. And more to the point, don't take it upon yourselves to change somebody else's opinion, because it's not your right or your duty. Okay? Right. That's the one. We're done. Okay, this is about 8 minutes shorter than the last one, so count yourselves lucky. Thank you once again for tuning in to Cragcore. I thoroughly appreciate it. And here we go. This is Cragcore signing off. Peace and love and peace to all things everywhere. I'll see y'all next time.